He's one of the biggest artists in the horror rap genre, fitting that it's Halloween today. He just released some new music. Joining us to share more on his new single, A Nightmare on A Street, is Mars. Mars, thank you so much for joining us here on Live in the Bed.
Thank you, glad to be here.
Of course. Now, when it comes to the horror rap genre, a lot of people may not even understand what exactly that means. Can you break it down for us?
You know, back in the 90s when like gangster rap, everybody wanted to be like the craziest or the most gangster. As it progressed, I think horrorcore kind of became a thing where that was the answer to take it like one step further. And that's kind of what horrorcore is. It's like a horror movie flick, like with gangster rap mixed in, and it's a lot of fantasy, a lot of like fun slasher flicks type of stuff, you know what I mean? That's kind of what me and my friends have always been into, and that kind of just progressed into our music.
I was going to say, for you, why did it turn into something that you saw yourself doing on a daily basis? Because this isn't oftentimes something you hear of people speaking about the horror rap genre. You
know, I think it was, me and my friends just had like a weird sense of humor, so we thought a lot of like scary or offensive stuff even was like funny, you know what I mean? So when it was just one of the things that like it translated from our personalities into our music and what we were into, and you're right, I didn't know it was going to take it this far, you know, it was just, it was fun, and I think over the years it just became more of a job, and it's kind of crazy to see on Halloween. It's like one of those big things where people recognize the horrorcore genre as the thing to have on Halloween.
And when it comes to you as an artist, who is Mars? Because the mask is all part of who you are, not only on stage, but Mars, the rapper, right? Who is Mars if you were to describe it to a viewer?
I guess like the best way to explain it is that in our genre, we put ourselves not as the hero in the story, we put ourselves as the villain in the story. So you get to see the movie or hear the movie from our perspective and what we do in these tales or in the music, and it kind of just gives the horror perspective from another place that the viewer usually doesn't get to see.
Well, you just released a new single that actually came out yesterday. Tell us about this new single. What can fans expect from it?
Nightmare on A Street came out today, actually, on Empire. It's a local-based song that's like I would say it's a slasher film that was based locally, and I guess it's one of the ways that I could kind of poke at my local audience and give them something to get excited about, because it has a lot of landmarks, the city of Antioch, and it's great. I can't say too much because
don't give away too much.
Yeah, the music says a lot, you know what I mean, and it probably says a lot more than TV should have on it. But you know, check it out, and I think everybody will like it.
Yeah. So would you say, Mars, that a lot of your music is really telling a horror story?
I would say a lot of my music is, I would say half of it is about my personality and my journey and what I go through, and a lot of it is mixed in with fantasy. So sometimes you get the guy behind the mask, and sometimes you get the story from the mask.
I like that. And it's very suspenseful, too. Fitting for Halloween.
Oh, definitely.
Now, you're not just giving back through your music, but you also give back through your philanthropic efforts. You've done so much for the community. For you, why has it been so important to be able to give back to the youth? I
guess coming up as an artist or as just a kid, there's not a lot of people that were there to help people along the way, you know what I mean? And I guess through all of the stuff that I've picked up along the way, I like to give back to people that are in the same position as where I started from. So, you know, as far as the skateboard stuff, I give skateboards to underprivileged kids and foster children and stuff like that. And skateboarding was one of the things that helped change my life and give me a good way of falling down and getting back up and knowing that, you know, it's not necessarily the destination, it's about the journey. And that's a good way for me to give back through something that also touched me, you know what I mean? And then I work with the California Food Bank, My Angels, and Save Soul Skate Bowls is a lot of the stuff that I work with, like branches, to just give back to people in need. And primarily in the city of Antioch, I like to just give back to where I'm from and just help people, you know what I mean? If I'm blessed, I like to bless others.
And that's so wonderful, too. We're blessed to be a blessing, right? And you mentioned some of the organizations that you work with, some of the ways that you give back. For you, what does it mean to you to be able to be this figure that people can come to, and especially kids can look up to and learn from?
It's crazy because I never really thought of it that way. It was just something that I did, and the more I did it, the better it felt. And just being able to set an example and change the narrative of my city and what people consider like musical artists or even rappers to be, and just being involved and having a voice in the community and using it for something to develop, you know, a new sense of giving. For me, it just feels good. It feels right, and I like doing it. So it was by accident, and it helped. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And why do you think, you know, for a message to anyone out there who may have a platform like yourself, why do you think it's important to use that platform for good, especially when it comes to the community and where you're from?
I guess you never know who you're going to touch that's actually going to use you as an example and make a big difference. And I think a lot of people need a second chance or the push to go forward, and maybe it's going to be that push that makes something great in the world.
Wonderful. Well, Mars, you are an incredible artist. Where can people look for you? Do you have anything upcoming that people can support?
I have a new vinyl pressing coming out. It's called Creatures of the Night. That's going to be hitting stores all over soon. But definitely check out Nightmare on 8th Street. You can check me out on Instagram, just @Mars, on Twitter @Mars. And you can follow my journey there. You know what I mean? I think people will be entertained by the different things that I got going on, and definitely they're going to have a big shock when it comes to the music.
Incredible. Well, thank you so much, Mars, for joining us on this spooky Halloween. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
To learn more about Mars' album and community service, we'll have a link on our website at liveinthebay.tv.